Jasmine, I want to ask you something.
Yes.
I want to buy this bed and then can do 4 monthly payment 0% installment.
You want to use the PayLater and Grab, is it?
Yeah, well, what do you think?
I don't know, what if you pay late?
Familiar situation? Last time you can only do this kind of 0% installment if you got a credit card. But today, with the power of e-wallet, you can use buy now and pay later anytime as long as you have a phone and a debit card. The thing is this, is buy now pay later actually a good thing? Should you use it? Today that's what we're going to be talking about, and I'm also going to share with you how I personally use the buy now pay later service. And to be upfront with you guys, this video is actually a collaborative effort with Grab to educate you guys on the pros and cons of using the buy now pay later service. But don't worry, because I will still be giving you my totally honest opinion on the buy now pay later service. Now, actually the concept of buy now pay later is nothing new. Probably the most similar tool that you can see today is actually a credit card, where you get to buy something right now under credit and then pay your bills at the end of the month. Sometimes with certain credit card, you are given a choice to use the 0% installment plan, which personally is one of my favorite ways to buy big ticket items. For a buy now pay later service like Grab, today you get to split your purchases into 4 months payments with 0% interest. But why do some people think buy now pay later service is actually an evil force that will get people into debt? In my personal opinion, the buy now pay later service, it's just like credit card. If you have no self-control over the way you spend your money, you could easily rack up debts by spending more than you can actually afford. And the truth is this, if you can't control the way you spend your money, you will probably rack up debts even without a credit card. Haven't you seen some friends who don't have a credit card and keep borrowing money from their friends? So the thing is this, if you have a problem with spending your money, you can't control yourself with a credit card, you likely want to be very cautious with a buy now pay later service. Probably I'll advise you just to stay away until you are certain that you have the ability to spend within your means and you're sure that you won't get into debt by using such services. On the other hand as well, there are some people who think that buy now pay later service is actually worse than a credit card. At least for credit card, banks will require you to prove that you have a stable income for them to give you a credit card. So at least it shows that you have the ability to make payment. But for buy now pay later service, all you need is just a mobile device and a debit or credit card. For me, the question of qualifying the users just solely based on income honestly is not a very good measure. Over my lifetime, I've seen many people who successfully managed to get a credit card get themselves into debts, and yeah, they are high income earners as well. So earning good money doesn't mean that you have the ability to pay back your debt. In my opinion, e-wallets like Grab actually know your spending ability probably more than the way you know yourself. Your usage of their e-wallet actually tells them your ability to spend money. So they will offer you the BNPL service according to your ability to spend as well. So although you don't really need to prove that you have an income with them, but they do have intel on how much you spend money and how you spend money. Let's be real, not everyone is in employment today. Especially with a gig economy right now, there are many people who are freelancers, and these people probably don't even pay an EPF. And because of that, it is hard for them to get a credit card. Haven't you heard about those auntie uncle who fry char kway teow in a hawker store? They are not qualified for credit card or even a house loan, but they can buy a house with cash. I personally also know students who manage to save a lot more money than people who are working and earning some income. So there's the other side of the argument, which is e-wallets like Grab actually allow more people to be financially included. But before we move on, do remember this one thing. It is just like a credit card. When you don't make your payment on time, there will always be an added cost. And this is something you really want to pay attention to when you're using the buy now pay later service from an e-wallet. And each service provider actually have different set of rules of how will they deal with late payment. Some e-wallets will charge a late payment fee and interest as well on the late payment. And some actually have quite some hidden charges as well. So it's very important that you find out about this before you use a a buy now pay later service. So you don't get yourself into something that you are not prepared for. As for Grab, if you fail to make payment for your PayLater account, your account will actually be suspended and you'll be charged a 10 ringgit admin fee to reactivate your PayLater service. Other than that, there is no other fee involved. Personally, I think this is a pretty good deal, considering that credit cards, when you make a late payment, their interest charge is actually about 18% per year. I even did a calculation to see if I were to owe 2,000 ringgit in credit card payment and make only minimum payment every month versus if I were to owe Grab 2,000 ringgit. This is what I found out. For the credit card, at the end of the day, I will end up paying more than 600 ringgit more on interest charges. But for Grab, it will be 30 ringgit more if I miss 3 months payment in a row. So that is 600 ringgit more on interest charge on a credit card versus 30 ringgit on Grab. The numbers alone tell me that the risk is lower for me when I'm using Grab. On the other hand, because Grab will also freeze my PayLater service, that would actually motivate me to pay it off as soon as possible instead of dragging my debt. As compared to credit card debts, many users are quite comfortable in making minimum payments and then continuously use their credit card along the way, then end up raking an even higher debt in their credit card and get into a worse debt cycle. So personally, for me in this part, I think Grab is doing a good job because it encourages people to spend more responsibly, and if you fail to make payment, they'll just lock it up. At least you don't end up getting into more debt, right? This is actually what I want to tell you. Buy now, pay later, it's actually just another financial tool. It is neutral in my opinion. Whether is it a source of good or a source of evil really depend on the user themselves, which is you. It's actually the same thing like asking if you should allow people who are below 18 years old to undi, right? Something that 18-year-old people are youths and they are very easily manipulated because they are young. While some people think that we should trust their ability to think. Or a less controversial example would be, should you allow a 17-year-old hormone-raging teenager to drive? Or maybe should you raise the legal driving age to 21 years old? Wait till at least they're more mature, right? Okay, enough of all that. Now, let me tell you how I would use a buy now, pay later. First, I don't use buy now, pay later unless I know I can buy the item with cash. For me, even when I have cash to buy something, I often prefer buy now, pay later because it provides me with the cash flow and allows me to seize other opportunities such as investments, especially when you see opportunities during that time, right? On the other hand, if you are the kind of person who tend to forget to pay your credit card bills, using PayLater by Grab is actually a good choice because the downside is much lower. Remember, more than 600 ringgit in interest payment versus just 30 ringgit if you forget to pay your bills for 3 months? Yes, the downside risk is lower. Forgetting to pay your credit card bill is actually more expensive than forgetting to pay a PayLater by Grab. But having said that, I'm not asking you to don't pay your bills, yeah? Remember to pay your bills, alright? Now, that's all being said about buy now, pay later. So, are you a buy now, pay later person? Why not you tell me in the comment what you think about this?